So, y'all, I had somebody hit me up, send me a message, and they want to know my opinion about Oreos. And we're not talking about the fucking cookie here. We're talking about black people that act white. Right? And I've gotten messages like this before. I've just been something I didn't put off, and I figure I'd go ahead and give my opinion on the situation. Alright? Now, to me, it barrels down to basic psychology shit. Nature versus nurture. Very simple. You never heard of the argument? It's easy. Alright? What you are born like, or what you're born into being, could be affected by what you're raised around. The term or the phrase, product of one's environment. So if you're a black person and you are raised around white people, then you're going to assimilate more to this culture. You're going to be a black person that acts white because that's what you were raised around. Just as well as you might have a white person that was raised more in the urban culture, or might even just cling to the urban culture more so. They'll call those guys wiggers. Right? A white boy acting black. He might listen to hip hop, might sag a little bit, might wear his hat backwards, might use slang. Alright? Now a person that's going to be a black person that acts white, they're going to use more of the proper English. They're going to enunciate the words properly. They're going to use complete sentences. They're going to listen to rock music and things of that nature. That's just how it is. I don't see it as a problem. Now, when I was young, I used to comment on like, that motherfucker act like a white boy. Or that motherfucker act like a white girl. Now it's not something I really comment on because the motherfuckers might be raising it. Now, I think the main problem that people gonna have with these Oreo style people is people that were actually raised, black people that was raised in an urban setting, then move away from it and then reject where they came from. Reject what they are. Start being self-haters. Haters of their own black race. I think that is more so the problem, or what would be a problem where black people get pissed off at these type of people. Because in reality, everybody gonna act white at some point to make it in white ass America. When you go to that job interview, you're not going there to my some what up, you know, how you doing today and shit. You don't get to do that. You have to speak that proper English, or at least pretend for that time that you in an interview that this is how you talk, this is how you are for real. Speaking that way makes you appear to be smart. Now, to me, that overall, that is some bullshit that you have to speak that way to appear smart to people to get a job. When you go to court, you're going to have to speak a certain way. You stop by the cops. If you trying to better your situation, you're going to speak a certain way. You're going to speak, you're going to act. What they would call acting white. People do it every day. Some people do it at their job all day long. Get home, then they get to use more of the slang terminology or talk where they're more comfortable talking if you're a black person. You're going to get to speak more black when you get home. But at work all day long, you might be talking white. Or what would be called speaking proper. To me, this ain't an issue. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, you know, it doesn't really matter to me unless a person came from, you know, a black urban setting and then they try to go off and reject that setting. I don't really agree with that shit. That a black person would do that shit, act like they don't know where the fuck they came from. Just because they might got a good job, went to college, got them a good job, and now, you know, these motherfuckers they reject everything that is black. That's bullshit to me. You know, it doesn't really come down to your preference of music. If you want to listen to fucking rock and roll or whoever the fuck you want to like, that's cool. But when you reject your black community, I think that's a fucking problem. Period. But everybody gonna act white. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck how pro-black you think you are. I don't give a fuck what you doing. To make it in this society, to progress in this society, you have to have two tones. Two modes you can go into. To whether you want to, you know, you want to be able to blend in with the hood or whatever like that, then you able to do that. But by the time you get over that, you give an interview on TV, you're going to use these proper nouns and adjectives and adverbs, all this shit that they brought from English, from England rather, when they brought us over here. This is the language that they taught us. And if you don't speak this language great, then you ain't shit. That racist white people all the time talking about Ebonics and, you know, how we speak and things like the broken English that we use. And to me, it's more being like bilingual. It's like a Spanish person speaking Spanglish. That's all it is to me. It's using two languages, the one that you're comfortable with, the one that we learn in the urban society, hip-hop society, that urban setting, and then when you mix in the proper English that we were forcefully taught when we got to this country to be able to communicate with people that were in this country. So really, I mean, like I said, it really comes down to nature versus nurture. You an Oreo, people gonna call people Oreos and Wiggers and shit like that. It's just, it depends on what, not only what you're raised around, but what culture you cling to. Some white boys might be raised around all white boys. They might cling to that hip hop culture, and that's what they gonna act like. They might sag and shit like that, wearing do-rags and shit like that. But I don't hold them back for it. I don't judge them and be like, oh, you know, I don't talk no shit because it don't even matter to me. I really don't care. Just like as a black person gonna act this white Abercrombie and Fitch ass nigga. That might be what he was raised around. That might be all he knows. So I don't really hold him responsible for that. That's just all he knows. Now if he's rejecting his culture, if he's rejecting his blackness, then that's a problem. But nature versus nurture is real. And I personally feel like nurture outweighs nature. At the end of the day, I believe in it. You're a product of your environment. Very simple. That's how the fuck I feel about it. But y'all comment, let me know what the fuck y'all think. It's your motherfucking mans and them as usual. I'm out.